Hi friends, what are the best ships in Apex Legends? Well, we've got a few brewing romances and straight up friendships that everyone can't wait to see blossom. So I thought I'd put together this top 5 list for the best relationships in Apex Legends, as voted for by you in a poll I put out on YouTube, and I'm going to talk about the lore behind these relationships as well. Let's start with 5th place, because we have Loba and Valkyrie. I think this relationship actually works really well. They're just both so alike, and they've both suffered the loss of family. Loba lost her parents and Valkyrie lost her father. More than that though, both had revenge missions as their motivation for joining the games, so clearly they have a lot to bond over, and I do kind of feel like their personalities are complementary for each other. The season 9 comic series saw these two grow close. Valkyrie saved Loba's life when she was plummeting to her death. They then went on a mission together to retrieve some spiders to get a cure for Bangalore and the other infected people on Olympus. But I think the main trigger for this relationship was actually when Loba was friend-zoned by Bangalore at the end of season 9. It kind of pushed her into Valkyrie's arms. Just before season 11 kicked off, we also saw Loba and Valkyrie have a heart-to-heart, and that ends in these two having fun together and even agreeing to go out for dinner. I think there's definitely something here. It's almost like two lost souls finding each other. Moving on to the 4th most voted for relationship, and this was Lifeline and Octane. Now this one's an interesting one. I've kind of seen Lifeline and Octane as best friends, but not so much in the romantic type of variety. But I guess sometimes the best relationships start when you're actually just best friends. Octane and Lifeline's story goes right back to their childhood. Both were raised by wealthy families, but with questionable morals on Samathi. One day when Octane decided to do a death-defying stunt to beat the gauntlet record, that he actually ended up blowing his legs off with a grenade. Lifeline effectively saved Octane's life though, by securing him a pair of robotic legs from his father's company, Silver Pharmaceuticals. Okay, so maybe Lifeline was guilted into it by Octane, but nevertheless, she wouldn't have helped him if she didn't care about him. More than this, we often see Lifeline and Octane together in the lore, and for sure in the comic, we see them look out for each other, particularly when Octane came face to face with his father. Lifeline stood up for him and defended him from his father. Like I said, I don't know if these two are more than friends, but one thing is for sure, they've always looked out for each other and they always will. In 3rd place is Crypto and Wattson. This is a really interesting relationship. Things started off slow between these two. In fact, Crypto almost ruins Wattson's introduction to the Apex games. Remember, it was her debut when Crypto destroyed the repulsor tower as a distraction so he could hack his way into the games. But if we look at their personalities, Crypto and Wattson have very similar personalities. Both are into technology, and they're not really people persons. We started to see these two forming a bond as we went through the seasons from season 3 to season 5. But when we got to season 5, Caustic made it look like Crypto was a mole that told Revenant about what the Legends were up to. And Wattson felt betrayed by this, and this kind of broke her relationship with Crypto. However, over the seasons since season 5, their relationship has slowly started to get better, and it resulted in Crypto confessing his secret to Wattson. The secret about his identity, and Wattson thus became one of the few people to know Crypto was secretly Tajan Park. I feel like this moment repaired their bond, and in season 9 we saw Crypto's foster mother fall ill, and when Wattson and her were having a heart-to-heart, Mystic, who is Crypto's foster mother, told Wattson that he talks about her a lot. Now surely that's a sign. Moving on to 2nd place, we've got Pathfinder and Ash. Yes, everyone's favourite Marvin unit, and everyone's most hated Simulacrum, although she must be pretty close to Revenant for that title. Now this is the kind of relationship that seems quite unconventional. It started back in season 6. When Pathfinder rescued Ash from a dustbin after the events of season 5 saw Ash reconstructed and given to Hammond, but they would go on to extract the information they needed from her and drop her in a dumpster, and that's why Pathfinder was able to find her. Pathfinder then took Ash back to his place and somehow got it into his head that Ash was his girlfriend, and they even lived together as a couple for a bit. It was more because Ash was a little bit confused and didn't really have her full mind, but nonetheless, they still played happy couples for a little while. In fact, one day they even hosted Mirage and Rampart for a meal, although Rampart accidentally said some trigger words, and that triggered the return of Ash's memory. Sadly for the Pathy-Ash relationship, Blisk showed up and whisked her away, and this left a very sad and lonely Pathfinder who was heartbroken. I do think Ash had some feelings for Pathfinder though. You don't leave this kind of message that she left at the end of the comic series unless you actually do care about someone. The best thing about this story though is that now Ash is a legend in season 11, Pathfinder has some of the best voice lines this season, often referring and making funny comments about Ash being his girlfriend. Now before I move on to the first place, I do have a few honourable mentions. We've got Loba and Bangalore. This was before Loba and Valkyrie, but it seems to have calmed down a lot since Bangalore friendzoned Loba. The other honourable mention is Bloodhound and Fuse. This is kind of like a buddy-buddy, happy story with all the darkness and stuff going on. Somehow Bloodhound and Fuse have found each other, and while it wasn't voted for or mentioned too much in the comments, I think these two definitely deserve honourable mentions. And finally we can move on to first place, and we've got Mirage and Wraith. Lots of people do question, are these two just friends, or is there the potential for more? I actually did a whole video comparing these two to Aang and Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender to give you an idea of what some of the signs mean that we've seen between Wraith and Mirage. And there definitely are some signs. You see, I noticed Wraith and Mirage are always together, whether it be a gameplay or launch trailer, or whether it's just in the series of comics, it always seems like they're together. Don't you think that's got to mean something? On top of this, Wraith always seems to support Mirage, and she always helps him whenever he needs it. Like I said, go watch my Aang and Katara comparison video, because you'll see why that actually means something. I do know that some of you thought it might be Rampart and Mirage, but Mirage literally stated that he sees Rampart as a sister, so I think that answers that. But he's never said it about Wraith, which means there could be more with Wraith. And there you have it. Those are the top 5 relationships in Apex Legends from Season 0 to Season 11, and this is based on what people voted for in the poll that I put out on YouTube. Let me know your favourite ship in Apex Legends in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.